Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tapping Tuesday. So every Tuesday at 12:30 p.m., I am going to come live here on my personal Facebook page and do a live tapping session where you can follow along. And if you're not able to join me live, you can always watch it back on the replay. But I've also decided that these Tapping Tuesdays, what I'm going to do is pull the energy of the day. And so before I explain that a little bit deeper, I just want to say thank you so much for those of you that are hopping on live. I so appreciate it. Or if you're watching get this back on the replay, I always love comments. I love to know that you're here with me live right now. Hey, Mocha, good afternoon. So yeah, it feels really exciting. This is the second weekly Tuesday to come out live here and do tapping, and I've already had some ideas rolling out, and it feels like it's just going to get better and better and better. And so going back to, as a quantum numerology student now, as I am learning more of the actual material and diving into it, it feels like coming home. It feels like this is my first language. This is what I understand. More than words, more than vibration, more than expression, more than body language, more than anything else. I'm really understanding, and everything is kind of tying together, and it's all coming like really neatly wrapped up into this little bow. And so what I want to do is when I come live here every Tuesday and tap with you, I want to leverage the energy of the day. So there's a universal day energy that's just out in the cosmos. It is what it is. It's vibrationally matching mathematically to the number of that day. And so without getting deeper into that, just allowing yourself to be okay with that, to understand that everything does have a rhyme and a reason to it. And I had this thought this morning as I was getting ready, and I thought, I purposely chose a Bachelor of Arts degree because I knew that I wouldn't be required to take as many math classes. The irony in that, right? Like, it's so silly. But what I understand now also is that I did not want to learn math from this very linear, one-dimensional, sitting in a cold, dark alley, or not alley, but felt like an alley classroom in my college, and learning it from a very narrow-minded professor. Just going to say it. And so what I'm understanding now is that I was really supposed to wait and understand numbers from the eyes of the universe, and that really the numbers are always speaking to us. So maybe my call out to you right now is start to noticing the numbers. Notice the number in your bank account. What does it mean to you? Notice the numbers on the clock, right? A lot of us start to see 11:11 more often, or 12:12, or for 1, 2, 3, 4, 12:34, 3:33, whatever it might be. And just know that the numbers are speaking to you, and it's calling attention to you. And you'll start to notice different things, like the serial numbers. Numbers are everywhere, and they're speaking to us all the time. And so we can leverage that. And today happens to be a 9 energy day. And so here with me live right now, we have a tapping session where we're going to leverage the 9 energy day. But also, if you're watching this back on the replay, I'm a firm believer that when you are called to come and watch something back on the replay, that message really is for you. So I just want to again say thank you for being here live. Thank you for watching this on the replay. Know that if you're watching this and you're not sure if it's a 9 energy day, no problem. You're supposed to hear what's here in the tapping sequence for us today and follow along. All right. So the 9 energy day is the end of the cycle. 9s represent completion, endings, really, again, coming back to like tying something up in a really neat bow. And what that means for a lot of us is we tend to push against that, right? We don't want something to come to an end because we're familiar with it. Our brains are familiar with it. And because our brains are designed to keep us alive and not to thrive, we tend to stay in old patterns. We tend to stay in old, not only thought patterns, but habitual patterns that we're doing, whether we're eating something that's not necessarily good for us, or staying in a relationship that's not necessarily good for us, or staying in a career that's not necessarily good for us, but it pays the bills, and it pays the bills well. And what happens is we're supported by the universal energies on these 9 days, the 9 energy day, because it's literally in the universe to have endings. We're meant to cycle through stuff. We're meant to have an ending of, and whatever that might be, the first thing that you're thinking of right now is probably what you really want to end. And really, really, really what that means is create something so much better, so much brighter, so much bigger, this blossoming of. So the ending of a seed being planted is it's no longer a seed, right? It starts to grow, it starts to bloom. The ending of the seed no longer being a part of the earth is that it now gets to be a part of the earth and bloom out and above it. So if you can think of it that way and get really excited for what's next, and instead of allowing the fear of the past, the fear of what might happen, to really transmute into excitement and energy for the future. What does this mean? As I allow myself to quit this job, as I allow myself to quit putting myself in circumstances with people that just feel like they're pulling me down, or whatever it might be, what is it that you need to end in order to really step into the next phase of your life, the next thing that's just waiting for you, and literally just waiting for you. And you're now supported by the universe on this 9 energy day. So if there's something that you are really being called to end in order to step into the next thing of your life, you might feel like you're triggered. Today you might feel a little extra itchy in your skin, a little extra antsy, a little ornery. And what that really is the universe trying to wake you up to go ahead and end it. Go ahead and move on. Go ahead and allow this to end, because the next phase is just waiting for you around the corner. All right, so let's go ahead and get tapping. All right, so as long as you are in a safe place to do so, and I always assume that you know what tapping is, and I don't really explain it, and I like for you to close your eyes the entire session and just go inward. Of course, if you, and you can always scroll to the top of my Facebook feed to understand a little bit more about why it is that we tap on what might seem like negative, in order to bring it out, and then we bring in the positive of what we're really wanting to call into our life. All right, so again, close your eyes as long as you're in a safe place to do so. Okay. And just go ahead, and I always like to wiggle around, like get any wiggles out that you might need to, right? This is a Facebook Live, so no one can see you if you're in your office, don't worry. Right? Shrug your shoulders, wiggle your toes. Take a really deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Give yourself 2 more deep breaths just like that. Inhale. See if you can relax the back space of your eyes even more. Exhale out the mouth. It's always an audible exhale. Signifying as you inhale that you're going to take. You're going to receive. You're going to fill yourself up. And as you exhale, signifying that you also give. You can release. And that you have to release in order to receive. And that really is the topic of today's tapping session, right? Releasing our past, releasing the fears of the past in order to fully step into what it is that you're wanting to create in your future. So go ahead and tap on the side of the hand, everyone. I am going to keep my eyes open as I look down at my notes, but feel free to keep your eyes closed. Follow along. Say this out loud. If you're at a place where you can't say it out loud, that's okay. Just listen. Allow the words to be absorbed. Know that you can always change hands as you're tapping on the side of the hand. You can always move to where you're just rubbing on the side of the meridian lines. And repeat after me. Even though I really want to leave my past in the dust, I'm not sure how to do that, or if I even can. But what I do know is that I love, I forgive, and I honor myself anyways. Even though I want to stop looking in the rearview mirror of my past. I still do it from time to time. And that's okay. I still do love, honor, and respect myself anyways. Even though I want to leverage the universal energies of today for my greatest good. I'm not really sure how or if I can do that. And I do love, forgive, and honor myself anyways. All right, everyone, top of the head. So have in mind right here what you were thinking of, the first thing that kind of popped into your mind, or maybe just a main goal that you really want to go for, something that feels expansive but scary. And have that in mind as we go through this tapping session here, all right? And say, I really want to stop thinking that it might be too hard to go for this goal. Eyebrow point. I want to stop paralyzing myself in indecision. Side of the eye. I want some form of guarantee that it will all be worth it. Underneath the eyes. Because just going for it kind of seems unsafe. Underneath the nose. And if I'm being really honest with myself, underneath the mouth, I care about what others might think about me. Collarbone point. What if I go for it? Underneath the arms, and I epically fail. Underneath the chest, I'm afraid of what people will think about me. She's a loser. She couldn't do it. Wrist point. I'm also really afraid of letting my family down. Top of the head. I don't want to go to the expense. Eyebrow point. The expense in money. Side of the eye. The expense in time. Underneath the eyes. Because what if I do all that underneath the nose and it's all for nothing? Underneath the mouth. Then I would feel really bad. Collarbone point, that I wasted my family's resources. Underneath the arms, that I spent the money on me instead of something else for them. Underneath the chest, but I'm open to any ideas. Wrist point, as to how I can let this thought go. Top of the head. Because what if I was able to transmute that thought, eyebrow point, into go ahead and going for it. Side of the eye. I wonder what the possibilities could be. Underneath the eyes. And do I really care what others think about me? Underneath the nose. I kind of do. Underneath the mouth. I know it's ridiculous. Collarbone point. And yet I let it stop me. Underneath the arms, I have allowed the fear of being judged hold me back. Underneath the chest, I have allowed the fear of failure stop me from going for it. Wrist point, why do I do that? All right, with your eyes closed, move back to the top of your head and start tapping again. And innately switch positions. Just keep moving through the meridian lines when you feel like you should. And just hear these questions. You might answer them out loud. You might just answer them in your mind's eye. Ask yourself, why do I allow myself to sit in indecision? Why do I allow myself to get overwhelmed? What am I really afraid of? Just keep tapping, keep switching meridian lines, keep switching points. You could slow down the tapping, you could slow down your breath. You could speed up. Do what innately feels good for you. And notice what's coming up for you right now. Am I afraid that I'm not going to be good enough? Am I maybe even afraid of actually succeeding? Because what would that mean? Am I allowing myself to be a martyr? And when I think about it, why do I really care what other people say about me? More than the possibility of actually succeeding. Mm-hmm. Think about where you feel this right now in your body. What's coming up for you? And feel free to change the wording here, but I'm going to go with where I'm feeling this right now. Where I feel all of this lack and indecision, where all of this fear and this judgment is sitting in my body, is in my low belly. It feels like gravel. It feels heavy and dense and dark and ugly. And it's been there for a while. And so I'm just going to acknowledge it. I'm going to see it and recognize it. And for the first time in my life, I'm going to allow it to have a voice. All right, everyone, take a deep breath there. See what's just coming up for you. Check in with your body. See how you're feeling physically and emotionally. What's coming up for you? So I wrote this tapping script out yesterday. And when I wrote it out, I was feeling this in my head and in my throat. And I wrote it as a vice, like a vice just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then I envisioned that I was the only one tightening the vice and I could just release it. And in the session that I did where I wrote this script out yesterday, I launched the vice into the ocean and the ocean was like, thank you so much. I've been looking for that. And then today what I'm feeling is it in my low belly, like that gravel, right? And so feel free to always change this and say it out loud, however you're feeling it, however you're sensing it in your own body, but you're really allowing this thought, this thing to have a voice, have a name, come to life in order to wipe it out. And that's really what happened is, yesterday I was in the place where I was feeling it in my head and my throat. And today it's like it's moved down, right? And so I can go ahead and just allow it to move out, however it needs to move out, maybe as humans do, or I can allow it energetically to just transmute, right? Transmute that gravel into maybe, I've been studying more about the vagus nerve and allowing that to move, like descend, right? Descend down to the root chakra and then all the way back up to the crown of my head and fill me up with so much more inspiration. I don't know, whatever it might be for you. So yeah, Christine, your low belly also. Yeah, interesting, right? Let's see. I'm gonna put some of these comments up in here. Yeah, your low belly also. Yeah. And then Mocha, let's see. I think you're saying, for Jonelle, this is a good one to hear after your class tonight, if you can. Yes, thank you so much. I love it when you tag friends and family members and anyone else you might think that could benefit from doing this tapping session. All right, so we're going to go into a second round. In this second round here, what we're going to do is introduce some possibilities, some more possibilities. And if you've noticed, my style of tapping is we don't do a lot of the venting stage in the first point, in the first round, just because that's kind of where I'm at in my life. And I kind of suspect that so many of you are also, is that we're done venting. We felt the vent. Go ahead and we will move through that first round pretty quickly. And then we want to introduce some more possibilities here in the second round. All right. So Mocha, as you are feeling this in your right foot, allow yourself to say that out loud. Allow yourself to just like see it, know that it's there. And in your head as well, right? When you just acknowledge that it's in the right foot, she's saying now it's in her head. It just moves. It moves around. And yeah, Christine, it can really, when we talk about the chakra points, so the low belly, it can be related to love or the lack of, right? And low belly to me represents the sacral chakra. And so expression, and how am I expressing myself? How am I showing up? How am I allowing the world to see me? How am I allowing the world to perceive me? And how am I then judging myself based on that, right? It's interesting as I speak more of my truth, I speak more out about who I truly am, that some of this stuff comes to the surface because I'm just being called to the next level, as are all of you. Yeah. And so Mocha here, the emotions and anger, oddly, that's the first thing I thought of when you were feeling it in your right foot, because I felt like if I was working with you one-on-one, Mocha, what I would do is have you envision that in your right foot, that anger and the emotions, and allow yourself to put your foot down. Where are you not putting your foot down in real life that you are then angry at yourself about it? Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and do a second round here. Bring this in, even if you're still feeling that anger, bring it into the second round. All right. And close your eyes if you'd like to. We're going to start on the side of the hand. Okay. And say, even though I'm feeling all of these negative emotions, I'm feeling them so much that they're physically showing up in my body. They're showing up in my low belly, in my right foot. Now it's fucking moved to my head. And it's in my heart. And it feels like really heavy shoulders. I'm angry. I'm hurt. And I've lived in lack. And I love and accept myself anyways. Even though I'm recognizing all of this pain and lack that I have in my body right now, for the first time in my life, I'm going to allow it to be. I don't need to change anything. I don't need to heal anything. In fact, I'm starting to think now I can actually create my future from it. I'm starting to feel a little bit of a fire in my belly as I think about it that way. Kind of like I want to show up and I want to show out. And for the first time in my life, it feels like that's what the universe wants from me also. It wants me to show up. It wants me to play full out. Deep breath, everyone. Let's go to the top of the head. So what if all of this negative emotion that I was sensing in my body, eyebrow point, is just part of an old limiting belief? Side of the eye. What if it's not really my truth? Underneath the eyes. What if everything that I am sensing underneath the nose is here to awaken me? underneath the mouth. And I have a couple of choices. Collarbone point. I could recognize this pain underneath the arms. I could acknowledge this physical pain that I'm feeling. Underneath the chest. And I could make a decision right now. Wrist point, because I know what I'm sensing in my physical body started somewhere deeper inside. Top of the head. And maybe as I allow this feeling of lack and this pain that I sense, eyebrow point, maybe as I allow it to come out, to seep out of my pores and move out into the universe. Side of the eye. Maybe then that's when my life really begins. Underneath the eyes. Maybe that's when my dream life just unfolds before my very eyes. Underneath the nose. Because I really want to be the kind of person that just goes for it. Underneath the mouth. I want to be the kind of person that takes these huge leaps in life. Collarbone point. And as much as I can feel her inside of me, underneath the arms, there's still a little part of me that's afraid. Underneath the chest, there's still a little part of me that says, yeah, but what if? Wrist point. So maybe I just need to frame the what if a little differently. Top of the head. What if it all works out? Eyebrow point. What if what I'm imagining right now, side of the eyes, turns out to not even scratch the surface of how amazing it actually is? Or can be. Let's go underneath the nose. The thought of playing small, underneath the mouth, the thought of allowing myself to hang back in my past in fear. Collarbone point. It's starting to fade further and further into the background. Underneath the arms. And what I have standing before me now in my future. Underneath the chest. That feels so much brighter. Wrist point. That feels like I'm being pulled forward into such a different dimension. And I think I might be ready for it. All right, everyone, take a deep breath from there. Just kind of sense what you're sensing there. See if what your original goal that you wanted to go for is maybe even kind of changed. And that happens quite often as we start to tap, is the subconscious starts throwing other things forward as like, do this first, try this out, go for it. And what seems like was a huge task or a huge mountain to move, you start to realize that like, oh, I actually built that mountain. I could just move it off to the side, or I could allow myself to just jump right on over it. Or I could allow myself to see that there actually is no mountain. I created it, I can move it. And I'm really smiling here because as I look at the script that I had down here, I was using it as a guide, but wow, I've really changed even from just yesterday's tapping session. And I did nothing that's on the script. And this is what tapping really does, is it calms the amygdala. It calms that part of the brain that says, be fearful of the saber-toothed tiger. It calms that part of the brain that we no longer need as a human species as we evolve. And it feels amazing to be able to say this out loud and be able to like transmute so quickly. And so, yeah, it is really awesome, isn't it, Christine? Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We're going to go into my favorite round. It's the third round. And in my style of teaching and what I've understood from my teacher, it's her method. It's very specific, is that we do EFT tapping to release and to allow our nervous system to calm down. And so that's where we really can calm down anxiety and depression and wipe it out. But really, it's this next step, but now what? Right? What if in such a good way? And this is the affirmations. This is the manifestation. This is what we're moving into the future. So yes, I want to put some of your comments up here just because I feel so cool when I can do this. I love all of you sharing the emotions and what you're feeling this as well. Thank you so much. Just typing it out and saying this out loud also, and allowing all of us to witness it with you will help it to move out of your body, will help it to move back into the ocean or whatever you want to envision, and for that to say, thank you. Thank you for giving me this back. I've been looking for it. I've been waiting for you to step into the next level. So yes, Christine, awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Ron. So powerful, great work. Thank you so much. I'm excited for us to start working together as well. Okay, so yes, Christine is asking about PTSD, which is a part of the brain. Without getting too deep into it, and I'm happy to talk about this as well personally, Christine, or on a different live, but they're actually using the EFT tapping techniques specifically for PTSD and getting amazing results. And this is all documented. It's in health journals. It's now being recognized as how do I want to say this? I did a post about this not too long ago, but they did some controlled and some double-blind studies that used just EFT tapping and then used traditional forms of therapy, right? Whether it be medication or talk therapy or even physical activity. And the results were hands down so profound to see that, these people with PTSD from all walks of life were able to really kind of get to the root cause of what's causing this. And when you can find the root and not only pull that out, but allow the root to be something else, where you're not left with this hole, where you're then planting something else that feels like your future, it feels like what we want to move towards. It's a massive change, and this huge awakening that we're all having, right? Again, going back to the energies in the universe right now, and we're all part of this massive awakening where we're allowing what no longer serves us to truly fall wayside, move where it needs to go, allow it to be with love. You release it in order to really call in what it is that you are wanting in your future. And what you want also wants you. It's just waiting for you. It's just waiting for you to call it. So thank you for saying that, Christine. I'll see if I can find, and if you just, you can get really don't ever just Google anything, right? But these are actual medical studies that are being documented. And I love that, because that's really what EFT is it's the Western and the Eastern coming together, and everything else in between, right? The North and the South and the cosmos. So yes, oh, absolutely. So Carolyn is a teacher, and she was saying she should have her students do this. Yeah, I've reached out to my kids' school, and I had, oh my gosh, well, I'm just gonna tell you this all really quick. I had an elementary school in an area where I grew up that, I'm gonna get emotional thinking about it, where they reached out to me and asked me if I would help them in any way understand it. And so I said, I'll do one better. I'll make a video and I'll come live and I'll do anything that I can to help these kids to understand I was there. I was one of you, right? And I saw the lack, and I saw the teachers tell me that, I'm not really worth the attention. They're going to go to the East Side schools, and and so whatever their story might be, but absolutely, my kids tap all the time and they love it, and they'll ask me to tap. And sometimes where they're just not in a space for them to tap for themselves, I will just tap for them. And sometimes I'll say stuff out loud and sometimes I won't, but just the meridian lines, we're using the same acupressure points as acupuncture. These are the same points we would place needles. Right? You don't need the needles. You already have everything you need, you already possess. All right, here we go. Third round, everyone. I can get on such a tangent and just keep talking. All right, close your eyes if you'd like. Take a deep breath. Move around if you need to, right? Move some energy around. And let's go right to the top of the head. I have waited long enough for massive change. Eyebrow point. I have wanted more out of life for long enough. Side of the eye. I have thought that it was selfish to want more for long enough. Underneath the eyes. It's time. Underneath the nose. It's go time. underneath the mouth. I feel it in my body. Collarbone point. I feel it in the atmosphere. Underneath the arms. And it's literally in the energy of today. Underneath the chest. I already possess everything I need. Wrist point to not only heal myself, top of the head, but to transmute everything in the past, eyebrow point, into creation. All right, everyone, keep tapping. Just move along the meridian points. Innately switch when you feel like you should. We always go top to bottom. And I want you to fill in the blank and say it out loud. First thing that comes to mind. What I really want is. Keep tapping. Say it out loud again. Same thing. What I really want is. Third time for amplification, you say it again. What I really want is. Let's go underneath the arms now. And what I'm starting to understand is not only is the universe a friendly one, but the universe is here for me. Top of the head. I am here to create. Eyebrow point. This is the pull I've been feeling my whole life. Side of the eye. And I can recognize that now. Underneath the eyes. All of the worry and the fear and the indecision. Underneath the nose. I recognize it and I see it. Underneath the mouth. I acknowledge it and I choose now to transmute it. Collarbone point. I transmute it into what I'm now supported in. Underneath the arms. I am supported in excitement. Underneath the chest. I'm supported in my physical body being excited and energetic. Wrist point. I am supported in being a creator. Let's go ahead and move to the finger points here, right on the side of the nail beds. Right now in this very moment, I am completely freeing myself of my past. I am loving and I am honoring everything that has happened to me and for me. As I move into my future, as I step and I leap into the future that's waiting for me, because as I do that, I move into true alignment. I come home. My spirit moves in alignment with my physical body. I am home. I am home. This is home. Amazing, everyone. Again, deep breath. Cleansing. What you're feeling right now is yourself. your true self, your highest self, your favorite self, your grateful self, however you want to say it, however you want to phrase it. But this is who you truly are. You're the authentic you, and it feels really amazing. And so I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you so much for hopping on the live and following along on all of the comments, all of you that are here. Yes, absolutely. And those of you that might watch this on the replay, and if you watch it back, I love the comments. I love knowing how you're feeling, how this helped you, and know that this is always a global tapping script, right? So I'm talking kind of to the masses and overall, but if you ever want to do one-on-one work with me, I invite you to just hashtag down at the bottom, always Rise Tribe, and I can get you the link. And when we do one-on-one sessions, that is where we can really go into memory work. And that is where we can really speak directly to your subconscious in order to wipe out what it is that has been holding you back. And so still do these tapping sessions, still join me live if you're not sure that I'm the coach for you. And then reach out, let this be the little angel devil voice on the side of your shoulder, because there is no bad, there is no good. And I look forward to seeing you all next Tuesday. You are so welcome, Christine. Yes. Oh, and I just want to say what Mocha said here also. Our hands can heal us. Absolutely. We have enough. We have not only the meridian lines, but the nervous system, right? The ending points that we have in the bottom of our feet and our hands. We actually emit frequency and energy out the palms of our hands. And I will just tell you all also that I was just attuned about 30 minutes ago, maybe I guess it's been about an hour and a half now ago, to being a Reiki master. And what that means is now that I have the energy flowing through my body, through literally the palms of my hands, out into the universe. And I now get to practice that. And I get to transmute the energy that I'm sensing from others into the light. And that feels really amazing to say it out loud. I was thinking that I was going to do like this big grand announcement, but no, it's supposed to be right now. Right. And really moving into the next evolution of that too, where the thought process of we need to heal, but do we really? Can we take what we've learned from everything in EFT and in literally in the awakening that we're having right now and transmute that into creating? Do we have to heal anything? To heal something implies that it's wrong or it's broken or that there's lack or that it needs something more. And actually, if we think of healing as just moving it into creation, that feels really amazing to do also, right? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Oh, hey, Mary. Thanks for being here. So Mary actually got attuned with me, and Mary is an EFT student as well. So there are so many of us out there that are just creating these ripple effects into the world. Yes, changed it. Watch what happens. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much. Have an amazing 9 energy day. What are you ending in order to create the next step?